Okay, so we got all those keys in that really stupidly long level. That's thankfully over now, and we get the really nice and short Coliseum. This particular chapter can be even shorter than you are going to see. But basically, I am going to be getting everything in it, so it's going to take a little bit longer than you can make it through. Now, I will say that I do like this little chapter, this level. I really need to get used to just calling them levels, because they aren't chapters. This isn't like in Bayonetta, which is basically... I've noticed that a lot of my level descriptions come... I basically just use my Bayonetta level descriptors. Really bad way of doing things, but there we go. Now, I'd say, I look at that jump and I'm just like, do I want to? And yes, it's actually completely okay. Lara doesn't take any damage, which is really nice. And now we get to do some lovely swimming. It's always fun when you're swimming. Now, one thing that I don't think I've really properly talked about yet is kind of how decent the swimming controls in Tomb Raider are. Because, I mean, obviously in a lot of games, swimming is a very painful process. In that kind of... sometimes it's rather difficult to control your characters. Whereas, the thing is that Lara's just kind of very fluid underwater. It's just a very, very nice, simple method of controlling, and it just makes things really nice and easy. It's slightly more of a pain when you are kind of trying to move up and down sometimes. But generally, it's really good. I would probably say that it's akin to, like, Super Mario Galaxies, in a way. That's... well... it's probably more like Super Mario Galaxy when you've got a shell, to swim through than anything. It's that sort of fluidity, except a bit slower, that you're dealing with in Tomb Raider's waters. Also, this kind of complex is really, really huge. Like, ridiculously so. I mean, so we had that massive tower that we had to climb all the way down. There's a Coliseum down here that we are going to be seeing shortly. And there's a massive tomb down here as well. It's just like, bloomin' heck. And, oh look, it's a gorilla. Oh look, it's two gorillas. Lara dear, you might want to murder them right about now. They're very dangerous, these gorillas. You can do the neat thing of getting up onto the stairs, thereby not having to really properly deal with the gorillas, because they can't climb up after you. But they will throw the rocks at you, which can hurt. But yeah, it's at this point that you should be realising that Lara kills a lot of endangered animals. in the original Tomb Raider. Like it's rather insane how many she just slaughters, and she does it without thinking as well. Oh, of course, Pierre. Just make sure that you also pick up the pace, yeah? I mean, I would have expected you to be at the Scion by now, if you were as fast as you say you are, but there we go anyway. Now, we're gonna be basically circling around this particular room here, for a little while, in terms of, this is the main area of this level. That's why it's called the Coliseum. But basically our exit is in here, but we can't get to that exit until a little bit later. And it does mean that we have to do this particular climb numerous times, which is not necessarily the most thrilling experience in the world. So now, if I recall correctly, we've got a fight that we are about to get launched into. It's that damn lever. It's just sitting there taunting me, and then it's going to send enemies at me. There we go. So basically what we've just done is launch some animals into the Coliseum for us to... more of them for us to kill. And this fight is definitely more difficult, because I believe as well as gorillas, you have also got lions, and obviously they're all going to try and kill you. Once again, you can pull up, and pretty much that is the recommended way of defeating your opponents. And it's basically what I'm going to do right now, or at least attempt to do, and fail miserably, before finally succeeding. Because it's kind of a cheap tactic for killing enemies, but if you don't want to take a hit, it's really, really bloody useful. It's also at this point that you will get to see the gorillas throwing things at you. Although they can't quite hit you from this far. You can still hit them though, which is helpful. No, yeah, okay, that's what I was doing. It's a useful way of killing your enemies, but obviously sometimes you can't really attack them very well. So getting up close and personal can be useful. So I think our little gorilla friend got a little bit stuck there on that rock. I'm rather glad for that, because it meant we could off him a lot quicker. And so we get to go into another pit. Basically what we need to do is we need to get a key from down here to get into the room next to the lever. Oh, there's the key. That's basically what we're gunning for, but we need to traverse this entire room to be able to get to said key. We need that to open the gate behind the lever, and behind that is something, I can't remember what, but it's something that will allow us to gain access to the rather wonderful exit of the level, which is hidden up above the rest of the Coliseum. It's funny, because I was, for some bizarre reason, decided I was going to look at the evolution of Tomb Raider earlier, and there's a reasonable few videos that display Lara's evolution. Some are like a face morph, and you can see that she's gradually does get more human, because they were rather cartoonish. This particular iteration of Lara is really the start of that more realistic look. And oh look, we have some more lions. I don't know where the hell these guys come from. Well, these ladies have come from. Because obviously they're not male, because they don't have the manes. Or any semblance of a mane. Therefore, they are lionesses. At least that's certainly the logic I think I should be using. So yeah, as I was saying about Lara's evolution, this is the start of her more realistic look. They got more realistic come Tomb Raider Underworld, and I would say that is, to date, my favourite Lara. It's basically because kind of it walks the correct, well, the line that I think is right between realistic and cartoonish. Because sometimes in video games going too photorealistic kind of then makes it a bit awkward when you've got the incredibly video gamey element to it. Now, if you want to get all of the kills in the game, what you need to do is head over to the right-hand side of the roof, and some bats will eventually turn up to try and attack you, and then you can get your kills. But yeah, and then we get to the Tomb Raider reboot, and Lara has been made very realistic, but I don't know. I still prefer a slightly cartoonish look over ultra realistic. Now, over here it's a bit mean. Basically, over in this little nook here, we can get the 50 caliber pistols. We've been getting ammo for it throughout the past few missions, and they're just lying here. However, if you die in the next couple of jumps, do make sure to pick them back up. Because, unlike artifacts, these weapon pickups do not save. As I soon found out. So the artifact that we're trying to get is below us. Well, it's behind us now, but we need to use that lower ring that we've been seeing to get across to where it is. It's a horrible jump to make, and failure does mean that you have to climb all the way back up again. And to be perfectly honest, this is what took me the most time in this level, was just looping round to make this blooming jump, / dying and having to do it all over again. It's not fun. Still nowhere near as bad as a later moment. Already alluded to it. This is the second allusion to it. It's going to happen a lot more, I can tell you now. And when you look at it in the footage, it's like, well, that's not really that bad. But it is when you're playing it. So this isn't the jump that's horrible. This is the jump that's horrible. Because basically what you need to do is you need to make sure that Lara is low enough that she can get a long enough swing to be able to get to the ledge. But it can't be too low, because otherwise she won't be high enough to reach the ledge. Also, once you've gotten the artifact, do your very damnedest not to fall off at the next jump, because it means you have to do the entire thing again, and again, and again, because you have to get to this particular ledge to be able to successfully really get across. I think you can go over the top, but I kept dying whenever I did that. So this is the arguably safer path to the end of the mission, which is just in that little box there. Now this really is a sneakily hidden little jump, because basically you need to slide to be able to jump to that, but you may not necessarily realise that that's there, and it's just like, really wanted to do that to me, thank you. I like you too. But despite all of my complaining, we're basically at the end of this level. And I believe we only have one area left of Greece. Maybe ever so slightly up on that, there might be one more, but I think there's only one level left. Maybe? I don't know anymore. But, yes. Get in there, and, after going down a long winding staircase and corridor, we will be at the end of the level, and basically in front of one of the more inventive ways for Lara to die. And it's actually the really horrible death that I was, talking about earlier. So, look forward to hearing about that, because, I mean, I did have footage, and I was debating whether to include it. But in the end it was just like, well, I kind of don't want to show the death, because it just wastes a little bit of time. Just want a nice, smooth, mostly, run through. But either way, we're at the end of the level, and the tomb is basically awaiting us right ahead, so let's head in.